1, where 4 will enter and 1 will be declared as the winner. Today on our panel, we have Matt, Jeff, Anthony, and our newest member, Dub Zero. So let's get right into it with question number 1. The Lakers are starting to put together a string of decent wins recently. So is this a sign of future things to come, or should we be skeptical, and are the Lakers not really true contenders this year? We'll start with our guest, Dub Zero, and you can kick us off with that.
I kept saying ever since before the season started, this is going to be a learning process. You got Russell Westbrook, LeBron, and AD, and it's a learning process, especially with Russell Westbrook. Every time when he gets into a new situation, it takes him some time to get a flow. It takes him some time to learn the people around him. And honestly, bro, that's all it takes. It just needs time. I don't know why there's so much quickness to pull the plug on those guys and so much hate coming their way when we all knew it was going to be a learning process. We all knew LeBron was going to need to learn how to play with Russell Westbrook and vice versa. So I think that, this is a good sign that things are starting to click. I do think that they do need help on defense, mainly on the perimeter end. Russell and LeBron are definitely good perimeter players, defender players. But, I mean, we got a lot of old guys on that court, man. So they need a lot more younger athletic guys to help them on that defensive end. Maybe a little bit more rim protection. I'm not sure how AD can handle that all alone. But honestly, it's a sign for good things to come. But that's my thoughts on that one.
Anthony, do you agree? Do you think this is in fact a sign of good things to come, as Dub Zero alluded to, or are you just not fooled by any of that?
Listen, you know what? He hit a lot of the right points, because I said this at the beginning of the season too. When LeBron starts a new team, gets a new kind of superstar player next to him, we saw it in Miami, we saw it when he went back to Cleveland, we saw it when he went to LA. The team has to figure out how to gel. You bring in I didn't like the fit of Russell Westbrook, so you bring in a guy who's ball dominant with LeBron. Then LeBron gets hurt, and the team just needed time to mesh. And we said it from the beginning. Wait. I kept saying wait. And I'm going to name a couple of other teams for a second. Milwaukee, Brooklyn, the Lakers, all of them. What did they do at the beginning of the season? Everyone said, "Oh my God, they're losing games. They're going to be terrible." Well, guess what? The Nets are now first in the East. The Bucks are now third in the East, and the Lakers are fifth in the West. Why? They're starting to figure out how to play together. They're finding out what works for them. And one of the things I noticed was they're starting to play inside a lot more. When you got Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Russell Westbrook, you should be scoring a lot of points in the paint, and that's what they've started to do. So yeah, I think it's a good thing of sign of what's to come, because they're starting to figure out not just how to play together, which they needed time to do anyways. I said wait about half a season. So they're a little ahead of schedule, because they're at about 20 games now and they're figuring it out. But they're more importantly than figuring out how to play it together, they're figuring out how to win games, because their style for this team to win is different. So I think it's a great sign of things to come.
Jeff, your thoughts?
Any new team that comes together needs time to gel. I think that's a basic principle that most fans can get behind in team sports. So yeah, that point's acknowledged. But show me something in the last 4 years that shows me I can trust this team. We've got a bubble championship to highlight that point. But LeBron James, his health, Anthony Davis, his health, the whole team's health, they have so much talent, they need to be considered contenders. But can we trust them? So what? They're the 5th seed now, 20 games in. I am concerned. I don't think they've shown that they can do it. And when it matters, it's going to be after the All-Star break. That's really all I'm concerned about. And they need to stay on the court together. That gelling part is the only thing they need to be concerned with. I don't care if it's 20 minutes per a game and you're limiting guys, but you've got to get minutes on the court together with these guys. Otherwise, what are we believing in?
LeBron? Fair enough. Matt?
I definitely agree with the gelling part. In terms of having a team full of a lot of older players, a lot of veteran players a couple guys, you look at Melo, you look at Howard, you look at some of these guys, it's their last chance to really have a true opportunity to win a ring. And everything is going to really unfold when it comes down to the playoffs, just because a lot of times we see, like we were talking about earlier, this team isn't supposed to come out here and just dominate right away. You add Russell Westbrook, that's going to take a lot of time to adapt your game. However, they have a true big three there. They have a couple other guys. Melo can score. They have a team that's well enough put together that when it comes playoff time, we know who the two alphas are going to be here. You're going to see LeBron and AD dominate. And if they're healthy, then of course they're going to have a chance. But I don't think early struggles should really change the way we look at them at all, just because we know who these guys are going to be come playoff time.
Gotcha. And quick follow-up, and we'll start with you, Matt. This is going to be a real quick answer. Where do you guys have the Lakers at the end of the season, seeding-wise, 1 through 8? So we'll start with you, Matt, and work our way backwards.
So I think they're probably going to be between like the 4 to 6 seed. I don't think they're going to be playing. I think they're going to like stay out of the bubble plan. However, I think like they're competing with teams like the Clippers. I think that they'll probably beat out the Grizzlies, so that would put them at 4 or 5, I guess. And I think that the first three currently in the West, the Warriors, the Suns, and the Jazz. I think the Warriors and the Suns are going to battle it out for the 1 seed, and I think the Jazz will probably be in the 3 seed come the end of the year. But if they're in the 4 seed and they have home court advantage for the first round, I think that's a win enough for LeBron. I don't really think that has ever been an issue as winning in the regular season. So I think if they're at 4 or 5, that's a pretty good spot for them. All
right, Jeff, what do you think?
If they can stay healthy and keep it together, I could see them as a 4 or 5. I can definitely get behind that. And I'm looking at a Showtime matchup. If they can get the Mavs at the 5 seed and we get a Luka LeBron playoff series before LeBron's out the league, I'm gonna appreciate that. But they got to get games together for that to be the case. Otherwise, they're going to be a 7 seed and a first round exit. If they play the Warriors or the Suns in the first round, bye-bye. First round exit.
Anthony?
So, listen, every team you're going to, if they stay healthy, that's every team. Look at the Bucks at the beginning of the season. They weren't healthy. And where were they? They were out of the playoffs. So, yes, I get it. AD is more susceptible to getting hurt. LeBron now at his age is showing some signs. But I think the team stays relatively healthy, and I think they're going to do everything in their power to be the 3 seed because they're thinking ahead of the first round. They're like, listen, I think we got the first round. They shouldn't be that overconfident, but I think they're thinking second round. And second round, LeBron, let's be honest, wants no part of the Warriors. He wants to keep that matchup as long as he can, even if it means playing the Suns. I think they match up better against the Suns. I don't like either matchup, of course, but I think he wants to stay away from the Warriors until the Western Conference Finals. So I think they're going to make a push if they can, if they're healthy, to be the 3 seed. And I think when you look at the teams, they're competing really Utah, Memphis, and the Clippers for that 3 seed. I think they're better than those teams anyways, if healthy. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the 3 seed there.
All right. Dub Zero?
Fluent, I hate you. Because I was literally about to say the same exact thing about the injuries because it's like every team, bro. You always need all your guys to be healthy. You always need that chemistry to gel with any team. Miami Heat, we're struggling right now because of injuries. Doesn't take away from the talent that we have. We just need guys on the court.
What if Curry gets hurt? What are the Warriors if Curry gets hurt?
Exactly. They're not the fullest extent that they could be, but they'll still be able to, fight with a lot of teams in the NBA. Going to the seeding spot with the Lakers, there's a lot of teams right now that's, struggling. If you look at the standings and everything, even in the East and West, a lot of teams are like 1 or 2 games away from each other. I believe that the Lakers will be able to beat out everybody besides Utah, the Phoenix Suns, and the Golden State Warriors because those guys are just really good regular season teams. I think those guys just 1, 2, and 3, definitely. But everybody else, I see a lot of inconsistencies from a lot of teams. All the teams is like 1 or 2 games behind each other. So I think I got full faith that the Lakers will be in the 4 or 5 seed.
Gotcha. All right.
May I, real quick?
Go ahead.
So
5 seconds.
The injuries. No, I can need more than 5 seconds. I need 15 seconds. The injuries in the finals. Put your hand down. Going to the finals, I never discount a team winning a championship who was injured. But we can't not acknowledge that the Lakers, 3 out of the 4 seasons, that's actually been what's affected their year. So I'm not saying injuries isn't part of the game. The Lakers are just dealing with it right now. 20 seconds.
All right. Fair enough. I actually took away a point for Jeff for speaking because he spoke more than everybody else. But unfortunately, fortunately for you, you're still going to stay because you kind of went against the grain. And I really like that. I love when people go against the grain, whereas everyone said the same thing. You guys all made great points. It was really close, but unfortunately, Dub Zero, I really wanted you to go in the second round, man. But yeah, you did not make the cut. It was very, very close between you and Matt.
Don't go
But
nowhere.
ultimately, I hope you stay and learn to see what some of the tactics of these wily vets use for their success. But we definitely appreciate you coming on. Now, moving on to the second question. The Chiefs are on a 5-game winning streak. I personally wrote them off. As you guys remember, I went to the Chiefs-Titans game some weeks ago in Nashville, and Patrick Mahomes looked absolutely terrible. But now they seem to be the favorite to come out of the AFC. So let me ask you this. Are they, in fact, the favorites to come out of the AFC? It's been years since I've seen the AFC this wide open. What are your thoughts? Are the Chiefs, in fact, the favorites to come out of the AFC? One, if the answer to that question is no, who is and why? We're going to go backwards this time, and we're going to start with you, Matt.
So yes, I do think that the Chiefs are the favorites in the AFC, which is weird. I think this is the first week this year that I've said that. Maybe early on in the year as well. But the biggest reason for why I didn't really believe in them was not, oh, something's wrong with Patrick Mahomes. No. Yes, there were struggles, but I think everyone blew that out of proportion drastically. The offense was pretty banged up. Now you see the tackle the tackles they've added, the offensive line, a lot of new faces there. They're starting to mesh together. The big issue for them was that Chris Jones was not healthy and their defense was getting absolutely obliterated.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jones is healthy. What happens? They start winning games. That's how good he is. And this dude does not get the respect he deserves. But I think that's the biggest thing that's kind of changed their season. But no, I always thought that, maybe not always thought, it did seem for a while like, oh, the AFC West is really balling out. But they've slowed down. The Chiefs have got hot. The Chiefs look like they did a couple years ago. Maybe not quite on the level that they were last year, like kind of in the peak of their powers, I guess. But I think they're the favorite. And weirdly enough, if I can go on this right now, can I give you the team that I think would be most likely to beat them?
Sure.
Well, who's your favorite? That's the question.
No, they're my favorite. But he said
they're
if
the
they're not.
favorite. Okay.
So because they're my favorite, I think there's a very weird team that has the most likely chance to beat them, and it's the Indianapolis Colts. Because I don't think, and they're not even right now. They are not even in the playoff picture. Like they're not in the playoffs. They're, I think, the 9 seed. The Colts can run the football really well, which the Chiefs cannot do anything really about. And offensively or defensively, they're a team that can somewhat hang. Now the secondary is a little shaky, but they got Buckner, they got Darius Leonard, they got that front seven that can compete and slow them down enough while also taking them off the field. So if anyone's going to upset the Chiefs this year, I do think it's the Indianapolis Colts. But
that's a great point because like styles makes fight, right? So that's a good match. That would be a bad matchup for the Chiefs. Jeff's thoughts.
The Titans and Bills really dominated the conversation early for the AFC, and both those teams have kind of fallen off. I think you said it, OJ. Like it's wide open. It's really great to see. But if you're not considering the Chiefs as essentially the team to beat at this point, I'm looking more at who they've got and where they've been. We're talking about a Super Bowl championship core, like back-to-back trips. They know what to do. It is wide open. Right now, I've got their biggest contender as the Ravens. That's just more of a gut feeling, especially what they're offering on the defensive end right now. But it's that openness that is keeping it there. I've got to say the Chiefs, you've got to believe in if you're going to bet on anybody coming out of the AFC right now, the Chiefs is a good one to put a number on.
Gotcha. And I have a feeling Anthony's going to disagree with that. So go ahead with your disagreement, Anthony.
Let me say this. I was one of the guys like you that was ready to write the Chiefs off. And the guy that just got eliminated in the first round, Dub Zero, every week would tell me, don't give up on the Chiefs. Watch out for the Chiefs. Watch out for the Chiefs. And eventually he got through to me. And I said, yep, I had them out of the playoffs. At one point, I said, they're not even going to make the playoffs. He forever kept his faith in them. So I'm going to give him credit for it. And I said, yep. And I started watching them a little bit closely. And one of the things I noticed was the Chiefs don't have to have a great defense. They just have to have a good defense, right? Every time and a timely defense. Every time we look at those great comebacks that Patrick Mahomes had, what was the one thing that no one ever talks about when he makes those 25, 30-point comebacks? It's that the defense held the other team from scoring again. And that's how he was able to make the comeback. That being said, they're not my favorite. They're my second favorite to come out of the AFC. My favorite to come out of the AFC, and I've said this, they're my Super Bowl pick, not only to make the Super Bowl, but to win the Super Bowl and break a Super Bowl streak that has lasted the entirety. This has never happened in the Super Bowl. There's never been a rookie QB to win a Super Bowl. And this year, the team that will be representing the AFC and who should be your favorite is the New England Patriots. And here's why. They showed you a great thing about them the other day. Bill Belichick doesn't care about stats. Bill Belichick doesn't care about looking pretty. Bill Belichick puts a plan together that wins games. Nothing else matters. That win against Buffalo was ugly. But you know what? They only threw the ball 3 times. But he knew that's what I need to do to win the game. He saw something in Buffalo's defense, which is look at any team that has a running game. They run on the Bills. Their record looks better against the run because they played like the Jets twice and the Dolphins twice, teams that can't run. The teams that can run ran all over the Bills. So am I going to bet against Bill Belichick putting a game plan together now that he has weapons and a quarterback who's good enough and a defense who's really good, leads the league in I think pass defense, interceptions? Nope. I think they should be your favorites.
And for the record, the youngest quarterback that's ever won a Super Bowl was Ben Roethlisberger in his second year. And that Steelers defense that went with him was significantly better than the Patriots defense.
And Mac Jones is significantly better than Ben Roethlisberger.
Ben was better than Mac Jones. There's no way the Patriots are going to
old one there at the end there.
So
we'll see.
Anthony,
while I disagree with you, Anthony, you're still gonna move on because you argued your point very well, and so did you, Matt. And I love the name drop of Chris Jones. I think that was beautifully said, and the fact that you're able to validate that with that. So unfortunately, Jeff, you're gonna have to sit out this for the third round. And advancing to the third and final round, we have Matt and Anthony. Okay,
Anthony, clarify this first, though.
Basketball for brains, not football for brains. There you go. Oh no, what? Sorry.
Who was the doubter on the Chiefs?
Who was the doubter on? I was the doubter on the Chiefs.
You were the doubter. You said like you though. Were you talking to OJ or were you talking to me?
No, Dub Zero was the one that kept telling me.
Okay, that was Dub Zero.
Dub told me every week.
I was like, I didn't doubt the Chiefs.
No. Dub Zero kept telling me the Chiefs are coming, and I was like, no, the Chiefs are coming. No,
Chiefs, man. All right.
Yeah. All right, for the final question. Okay, this one is near and dear to me as a Bucks fan. As you all know, Antonio Brown duped the Bucks when he deceived them and he presented a fraudulent vaccination card. Now, apparently, he actually did end up getting vaccinated. So I guess the Bucks team, his teammates spoke to him, and so. But that's besides the point, right? Because the fact of the matter is, he lied to them, violated NFL protocol, and I'm surprised he didn't. I'm pretty sure they tagged him with conduct detrimental. But either way, he's suspended 3 games, which doesn't matter because he's resting. And to give a little bit more context, Bruce Arians said right before he brought him on that any little slip up, he's gone. So now, what should the Bucks do? Do you guys think Bruce Arians should be a man of his words and principle and cut AB? Or should the Bucks keep AB? Given that Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, they have not always been healthy and they definitely need the depth. And frankly, when healthy, let's make no mistake about it, Antonio Brown is probably the best receiver in that roster. What should the Bucks organization do? Cut him and stay to their principle, or keep him knowing that he gives them a pretty good chance in their championship aspirations? We'll start with you, Anthony.
It's interesting that I guess it's because he there's paperwork and he got fraudulent paperwork, because what did he do that was different than Aaron Rodgers? Nothing.
Something very different.
Yeah, the paperwork. I get it. There's paperwork, but he didn't get suspended. Antonio Brown does. Whatever. I don't like that. However, that being said, the question is, should they keep him? Yes, 100% they should keep him. One, because I get it, he was caught, but now he's gone and done the right thing by the team. He's gotten vaccinated. I think he's going to have a great supporter in Tom Brady, who's going to make a case for him to stay on the team. And let's be honest, what do NFL teams value more than anything? It's winning. And with Antonio Brown in the lineup, they're probably your favorites to be in and contest against the Patriots and maybe even beat them in the Super Bowl. right? Like if they're fully healthy, the Bucks should be your favorite coming out of the NFC East, and they should, or coming out of the NFC, and they probably should be your favorite to win the Super Bowl, right? I know I'm going with an underdog pick, but if I take that out, the Bucks should be your favorite to win the Super Bowl with Antonio Brown in the lineup, because you're right. When healthy, he's the best receiver they have. Like he's shown flashes of the old Antonio Brown. So I think, they'll have to do a little bit of PR work. I think, though, if you talk to the team, if you talk to the players, and they're all behind keeping him, which I think they will be, for all intents and purposes, Antonio Brown's been a great teammate to everyone on the Bucks. And like I said, and the most important person, Tom Brady, has his back. So as long as he has his support. So unless Tom Brady comes out and says no, there's no question he stays on that roster, and it makes them a better team, and it makes them probably your favorite to come out of the NFC as their Super Bowl representatives for the NFC. So yes, I keep him on the team.
Matt, before you go, I'd also like to add, and after you answer your question, you might want to consider, should the Bucks think about what the fan base would want in this scenario as well? So go ahead.
So to start with AB, and then I'll talk about the fan base after. I don't think this is that significant of a thing when you compare it to the stuff that was surrounding AB when they signed him. So I do not expect them to cut him at all. Like, I do not expect that at all. But if we look back on like what AB got in trouble for before he was a Buck, like, and this isn't about if he did or if he didn't do it, nothing like that. But he had sexual assault charge case, like he got, I think he got arrested for it. He got charged with it. Now he didn't get put in prison. Obviously, he didn't get found guilty for it. But there were multiple cases where there was a report that he like threw a couch out of like a 20-story building and it almost hit someone on the street. There were insane reports. So him having a fake, like doing fake paperwork for a vaccine, but then still getting the vaccine is like super insignificant compared to the other stuff he's done. So if they were going to not have AB, like they would already not have AB. So I completely expect him to be on the team. And then in terms of the fans, I don't think that a team has ever really cared what the fans said. I honestly believe that. Now, sometimes you definitely feel the pressure. If you're a Bears fan right now, Anthony, you being one, like pretty sure that your city's letting Matt Nagy know that they don't want him there. So there's that kind of side of it, but I don't think it influences decisions in the front office at all. So
thoughts on
if the fans matter, Nagy would have been fired 6 weeks ago, if not earlier than that. So
exactly.
Yeah. But no, I think just to the fan point, I think you take it into consideration, right? If there's a huge uproar, you're a Bucks fan. Let's be honest. You would say, hey, while I don't like what I did, and whatever the legalities are between that, there's going to be at least 50% of the fan base that say, well, you know what? We don't believe in this virus anyways. We don't believe in getting a vaccine anyways. Half of the people are going to say that. So they say, well, let him play. And the other half are going to say, yeah, I get why he did what he did, but hey, let's let him play because now he's course corrected. So I would think, and why don't you tell us, OJ, you're a fan of the Bucks. Do you want him to play or not? Hesitation. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm very conflicted, man, because I like to stand on principle when it comes to certain things. But ultimately, the biggest thing I get out of football is entertainment. And the quality of the entertainment is not the same without AB. So that selfish side of me more so wants him to stay so he could potentially win a Super Bowl more than anything else. But it's not an easy thing for me.
Yeah.
So.
Now I'll say this: he probably is not on the team after this season.
Is his contract up? If his contract's up,
no, it's been a 1-year contract.
Yeah, it's 1-on-1. I think that's hey, we're not re-signing you because this is probably the reason they can give.
Yeah,
but I think they keep him for the season.
You guys made two great, excellent points, but I'm going to have to edge it to Matt, and this is why. I think Matt did a wonderful job of pretty much unpacking the fact that the Bucks are going to grade Antonio Brown on Antonio Brown's standard, right? They're not going to grade him on a regular standard. It's like, man, you've done all this stuff. Well, for your standard, that's not too bad. Like it or not, whether that's a good thing or not, I think that was pretty cool for him to actually see it from that way. And I actually tend to agree, and frankly, I think if they were going to cut him, they would have cut him already. Like, so this whole thing, let's wait till the suspension and all this other stuff. no, I think it's way too tempting to see what a healthy Antonio Brown can bring to the Bucks. And worst comes to worst, at the end of the season, you can wash your hand of him like Pilot and keep it moving. So
I thought I'd get you by saying they're with him. They're the Super Bowl, like maybe the champs. No, didn't work. I said it didn't work. Saying it with Antonio Brown, the Bucks get another Super Bowl. No,
I think that's just obvious at this point.
Favorites anyways coming out of the NFC, which I don't know why people are surprised. I like the Packers in Arizona as of today. So
more than the Bucks?
Absolutely, 100%.
The Chiefs just beat the Packers.
Yep. The
Packers get past the NFC Championship game.
Tom Brady has not been as sharp in the past 6 weeks. He's been a little sloppy with the ball, a couple of pick sixes. And with our defense, man, a team like that with the prolific offense of the Packers, Arizona, I think they can give us big problems.
Yeah, the secondary is really
it's atrocious. But that's of right now, today.
Yeah.
Carlton Davis is getting healthy. Sean Murphy-Bunting is going to come back. Devin White is going to get healthy. So towards the end of the season, I think we'll be better. But as of today, Arizona is a better team than the Bucks.
Yeah.
So
Brady's spending too much time on that podcast. He should focus on what's that thing that he stretches? What's it called? Plyometrics? What's it?
Plyometric, yeah. But I would love to play Green Bay if in the playoffs. I would love to play them. I think we have Green Bay's number. I don't fear Aaron Rodgers, and he's a choke artist when it comes to the playoffs, particularly in the NFC Championship game. I'll always believe that. No one could ever change my mind when it comes to that. I love Aaron Rodgers, man.
That was a good 30. Let's get Matt his 30 now.
Oh yes, Matt, the winner. The winner.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Edit that. Yes, Matt.
Go ahead.
30.
I am so sorry. I completely forgot as if the show ended. Okay, so Matt, the floor is yours. Anything you'd like to share? Perhaps your grievance on this 49ers loss?
The 49ers loss, I don't want to get into that. I definitely don't want to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo or the 49ers right now. However, appreciate this good show. I was happy to face off against Anthony in the final round and take him down in this one. I think you got me last time when we matched up late. So that's always nice. But you guys can find my stuff, Nuggets of Gold. You see the Niners posters behind me. And also any San Diego Padre fans, not talking about baseball here, but maybe you like the Padres. Friar Talk is my other show. Both of them are on YouTube as well. So see me there. But yeah, that's going to do it for me.
All right. Thank you, guys.